And now we go to Matt Vanderveer, who has the latest in health news.
Scientists say they have found strains of a virus that are responsible for much of the cervical cancer worldwide. The study looked at research geared towards the human papillomavirus. Researchers found 8 types of HPV that are cancer-causing. There are 118 types of HPV. Many wealthy countries have started vaccines for girls, but poor nations usually can't afford the vaccines. Scientists say more research is needed on the specific types. More than 80% of the world's cervical cancer is in developing countries. AIDS activists are asking the Los Angeles City Council to suspend new film permits for porn production. This comes after a San Fernando Valley clinic announced that one porn actor tested HIV positive. AIDS activists want the industry to use condoms and other safe sex practices. One official says it's unlikely the City Council will suspend the permits because of possible lawsuits over civil rights violations. The American Heart Association has changed the guidelines for CPR. The former training required that the first aid providers start with mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. The new guidelines tell professionals and bystanders who step in to begin with chest presses instead. After delivering 30 chest compressions, the rescuers should give 2 breaths to the victim. Some doctors say this is optimal because the compressions act as an artificial heart and help carry oxygen to the brain and other organs. Officials say a new California law will require students entering 7th through 12th grades be vaccinated for whooping cough. Until then, California was one of 11 states that did not make middle school students get the booster shot. Health officials say teens who have not been immunized contribute to a rise in the disease. This year is the highest in whooping cough infections since 1950. More than 6,000 people were infected. Health officials say the vaccine is important because immunity can fade in as little as 5 years. And federal authorities have approved Botox injections for the prevention of chronic migraines in adults. The FDA recommends Botox be injected approximately every 3 months around a patient's head and neck to dull headache symptoms. The FDA said the most common adverse reaction were neck pain and headaches. More than 3 million Americans suffer from chronic migraines, and women are 3 times more likely than men to suffer from them. That's the latest in health news. Back to you.
The largest typhoon ever to hit the Philippines kills 2.
And we report on how the rescued Chilean miners are doing. About a dozen of the 33 Chilean miners rescued last week returned to the site for Sunday Mass. Reporters mobbed them as they arrived. The private Mass was held next to the entrance of the mine where they spent more than 2 months trapped underground. For some miners, this was the first time they returned to the site since they were rescued. Only a few of the miners have spoken to reporters. One of them told CNN they have all made a pact not to speak in detail to the media.
A mine blast in the Chinese city of Yuzhou killed 21 miners and trapped 16 others. The explosion at the coal and electric company mine unleashed more than 2,000 tons of coal dust. The blast occurred as workers were drilling a hole to release pressure. China's mining industry is the most dangerous in the world, but deaths have decreased because many illegal mines have been closed. Chinese media initially kept from aggressively reporting the story.
In the Philippines, the super typhoon called Maggie has hit northern Luzon. High wind pounded the area and persistent rains flooded roads. Maggie carried sustained winds of about 160 miles per hour and gusts up to 200. Residents in low-lying and coastal areas were advised to head for safer locations, and evacuations were discussed. Maggie is the strongest storm to hit the Philippines this year and was expected to pick up steam again as it heads over the South China Sea.
There were cheers and fireworks in the Swiss Alps to celebrate the world's longest tunnel. The $10 billion tunnel is located in the Alps and is a little over 35 miles long. The tunnel will connect Europe's high-speed rail network. It will also cut down the number of trucks that pass through the mountains. Construction on the tunnel began more than a decade ago with the help of 2,500 workers.
Many kids spend their time running around or playing Nintendo video games. But one little girl's helping to feed the world, one hungry family at a time. Peyton Jones is not your typical 8-year-old. Yes, she does pull around a wagon, but her weekends are much different than most kids her age.
My goal this year is 750. Next year it's probably going to be maybe 1,050 or something like that.
Peyton's talking about cans of food that she's collecting for needy families in Topeka, Kansas. She spends her weekends going door to door collecting donations in her wagon. Peyton and her wagon are proof that even doing something small can make a difference.
Santa Barbara County is often known for its wine, but this weekend local beer makers brought their beers for an afternoon festival in the park. Valley View News reporter Nicole Ciccarelli checked it out.
Cold weather didn't stop music, dancing, or beer drinking. The 2010 Pints for the Park event hosted a beer festival at Elings Park in Santa Barbara. The festival offered an afternoon of beer sampling from popular microbrews from the Central and West Coast. Brewers stationed under tents got a chance to showcase their beers and talk with beer drinkers. Local brewmaster Rob McFerrin of Wolf Creek brought his beer to the festival.
You can create so many different flavors with beer, and there's so many different styles that trying all the different styles of beer is fun.
With all the sampling, beer drinkers had their favorites.
Firestone was amazing.
There was this one beer that was aged in oak for a long time.
IPAs are great.
For $55 at the door, you get a glass and a wristband like this. You can have as many free beers as you'd like. And with 25 brewers on site, there's quite a variety of beer. And the event has a good cause. 2 local nonprofit organizations receive all the proceeds, which are Elings Park, a 230-acre nonprofit park, and the Santa Barbara rugby team.
We had 5 kegs blown through. It's all gone.
And with beer drinking came long lines, for the bathroom, that is. After the event, cabs circled the parking lot waiting to pick up business and assist in people getting home safely. In Santa Barbara, I'm Nicole Ciccarelli, Valley View News.
Well, that certainly looked like a fun festival.
It was. For Jason Llanos and Matt Vanderveer, I'm Nicole Ciccarelli.
And I'm Brittany Silverstein. Have a great day.